It has been said of Harpo Marx that he was stamped as a genius at a very early age because of his inability to learn anything at school. With the passing of time, Harpo Marx and his brothers in the movies, on Broadway, and nightclubs, radio, and television brought much delight to many millions. Mr. and Mrs. Harpo Marx, she's the former actress, Susan Fleming, now live with their 4 children in this modern Mexican-style house just outside of Palm Springs, California. Their home on 10 acres reclaimed from the desert is on the edge of the Tamarisk Golf Course. Good evening, Harpo. I hope it's not your intention to monopolize the conversation this evening. How's the weather out your way? Harpo, I hope the new year finds you in good voice and enjoying good health. Harpo, do you ever take anything seriously? Harpo, you could be something of a problem tonight. Where are Mrs. Marx and your children? Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
Mrs. Marx, I've been having a little difficulty with Harpo. Could you identify your children for us?
Sure. Oh. Back to your trunk. This is our oldest, Bill.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
Good evening, Bill.
This is Alex.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
How are you, Alex?
Minnie.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
Evening, Minnie.
Jimmy.
Good
Jimmy.
evening, Mr. Morrow.
Mrs. Marx, what is Harpo really like in his own home? Is he talkative?
Well, he's talkative if he has something to say. Actually, he's a very quiet man, philosophical, doesn't let things bother him too much. Nothing, he uses his head.
Philosophical. Mrs. Marx, how did you all decide to settle down in Palm Springs in the desert?
Oh, well, this started a long time ago. We have been vacationing here, weekending, for years. And these stretched into 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. It got harder to get Hart back to town, and the children never wanted to go back to school. So, to make it simplified, we moved down here.
Minnie, what do you like most about living in Palm Springs?
Well, I love horseback riding, and in Beverly Hills you couldn't do much horseback riding. So I do have a horse of my own.
Oh, wonderful. Alex, are you interested in horses, too?
Yes, I like my horse, too, but my greatest love is for machinery.
For machinery, huh?
Yes.
What kind?
Well, I have a power mower that I cut the grass with, a big one, and I get a lot of fun out of that.
Uh-huh. Jimmy, is anyone allowed to be Groucho in your family?
No, just Groucho. Just our uncle.
Bill, I know you help your father with his music. Do you intend to make show business your career?
Yes, Mr. Morrow, I'm very interested in the music field. And I worked on the music to Dad's latest album for Mercury, Harpo in Hi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
And we are in the process of making another one for the same company very soon.
Harpo, I recall that at one point in your career, you belonged to the Thanatopsis Literary and Inside Straight Society here in New York. Do you have time to do much reading these days? Take a fast cameraman there. Is this where you do your reading? What are you reading? Philosophy? Harpo, I would gather that we're in your trophy room. Did you win them all? Harpo, how are your brothers? That's 4 of the 5 of you, isn't it? Harpo, your hair was darker in those days, wasn't it? Peroxide. What's Groucho doing these days? And Chico? And Gummo and Zeppo? Harpo, golf seems to play a very important part in your life. How far are you from a golf course? Hold everything. Mrs. Marks, could you translate for us, please?
Tamara's Country Club is just across the street. Harpo is now shooting for the 14th hole. Matter of fact, we get in our little golf cart and scoot right across the street and play in from there.
You always keep the golf cart right in front of the home?
No, we have a little garage that was built just for it. Follow us, I'll show it to you.
What kind of golfer is Harpo?
Harpo is a very imaginative golfer.
He's an imaginative driver, too.
Matter of fact, Harpo's putting is really the only thing that he's ever had trouble with. He used to hit all the balls on the toe of the club. So to counteract this, he brought the club in and cut the toe off. This is the golf cart house.
Mm-hmm.
And also Harpo's workshop, where he does all his marvelous projects.
Is Harpo of any real help around the house?
Well, yes, of course. But he's the greatest help in the kitchen. Follow me. Because he has an enormous appetite.
What a lovely kitchen.
Very encouraging to a cook.
Very nice indeed.
Thank you. We love it. I love the metal cabinets, and it makes it so simple to clean and keep shining wonderfully new. We needed a lot of space in here because the children cook, Harp cooks, everybody cooks.
Is Harp a good cook? Is Harp a good cook?
Oh, yes. His father was a marvelous cook, French. And, of course, they know more things about cooking. But the children cook here, their breakfast, and they have their breakfast here before they go to school. They bother nobody. And because we do it all ourselves, we have it very conveniently situated next to the dining room so we can serve ourselves through here.
Mm-hmm. Very nice indeed. That painting beside you, the face seems to me rather familiar.
Well, this is not who you think it is. This is not Arthur Godfrey. It's a drawing by Grant Wood. We do have a few wonderful old masters. Let us show them to you.
Oh, that's the Rembrandt manner, isn't it?
Yes, Rembrandt, possibly Rembrandt. And of course you recognize the Blue Boy.
Oh, yes. What a
These
Blue
were
Boy.
done by a very great friend of ours named John Decker. Perhaps you remember him.
Yes, I do. Harpo, I miss a painting of you and your harp.
Hey, Dad, hold it. Dad, stop. Whoa. Hey, relax. Wait. You've done that show already. Turn the page. Mr. Murrow, we'd like to do for you now one of the tunes from our newest album for Mercury Records. This is called My Blue Heaven.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Harpo, I gather you still retain an active interest in your music, is that right? Tell me this. Did you ever have a desire to perform in a serious play, a part like Hamlet? Yes. Harpo, I'm afraid I've rather monopolized our conversation this evening. Do you have any pressing problems you'd like to pose to me? Good night, Harpo. Good night, Bill. Will you please say good night to the rest of the family? And now, from person to person, good night and good luck.